episode.
Video Game Show.
Welcome to the Gamecast Network episode 195.
With Video Game Show.
With Video Game Show. I'm Ivan, and we got some Phil.
Hi.
Oh
my God.
And we got some Keith.
Yes, we do.
And a little bit of Bob.
Strudel frosting.
And some Chads.
Yes, always last. Good.
Hanging Chads.
Oh,
Ha ha!
Zing!
I went by order on my Skype thing.
it's fine. It's fine. I
My
know.
fault you're last.
I know where I rank now in your life. That's good.
Hey, you know what? Know your place, Chad.
I know exactly. Right here, last. I'm happy being last.
Well, then why are you complaining?
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't say I was complaining. I just said I know my place. I said I'm last.
You a woman now? You like just to complain for no reason? I have no problem with this, but I'm going to complain about it.
I just wanted to state that I am perfectly fine with everything that has just transpired. In case anyone was wondering.
This causes me no discomfort in the slightest, so thank you.
This week on the GamerCast Network. Episode 103 of the post-game report will not talk about the Lost series finale for the entire show. On Achievement Junkie episode 106, Why Are Some Games So Hard? The epic 100th episode of the Sarcastic Gamer Blue Show may be the raunchiest episode yet. Have your earmuffs ready and tune in next week for a more Disney-friendly episode. Discover the community that brings you all these great podcasts and more at GamerCastNetwork.com.
Who would like to start the show while I go get our mail together?
We just started the show.
Well, no, I mean the content, the actual show, the show.
This
stuff.
is the show. This is what we do now. There is nothing else to the show. Just us talking about starting the show for like 20 minutes, and then we're done.
And then we talk about finishing the show.
Right. It's already been 2 minutes, so
I know. I got the thing going on right here. Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently, I logged into the show notes, and now it says that, warning, you are not logged in. Your IP address will be recorded in this page's edit history.
I said I was throwing the show notes page together, and you guys said we don't need the show notes page, so I didn't put it together. But right now, I'm trying to get the mail put together so we can have mail. So, would someone who sent a topic on the threads list over the past couple of days would like to start with that topic while I get the mail together? Go.
Not it.
All right, so anyway, apparently Section 8 for the PlayStation 3 was sending gamers to the Xbox Live Marketplace. It's not really much to that story. I just find it very ironic and somewhat amusing.
How does that error happen?
It tries to send them to Microsoft.
No, I mean, how does that happen?
Like, we're going to program this game Section 8 and let's put a link to go to Microsoft in here?
I mean, I guess it had to be the developers porting the code from Xbox to PlayStation and forgetting that line or something, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, probably.
That's what it sounds like.
Because it's probably wasn't a Sony thing, right? It was probably you're playing the game and something happened and it said, oops.
Well, yeah, because Sony doesn't have a home base, I guess you could say. They let the game decide the online stuff, correct?
Sony,
that was my understanding of it.
There is a PlayStation Network which you can use and go on, but it's not as tightly policed as Xbox Live is, meaning the developers really don't have a set scheme what they have to do in the game. They can pretty much do it whatever they want to do. But, I mean, it's still... I mean, like, I think if you need third-party stuff to do online IDs, like I know Metal Gear had online ID system, which was outside the PlayStation Network, which people hated. Developers pretty much can do whatever they want to do, kind of. But, you know, there are certain things they do have on the PlayStation Network, like trophies and all that kind of stuff.
Huh.
It's just not as, you know, nicely laid out as Xbox Live is.
Now, you figure they would have gotten their act together after a while, like, to make it nicer.
I think where Xbox requires certain things, Sony doesn't. Lets the developers do what they want to do. You know, I think Xbox doesn't Microsoft require achievements and all that kind of stuff.
They do.
I don't think trophies are required with Sony. It's the developer chooses to do those.
Huh. Well, I think that they should get on board. Conformity is all the newest rage. It's good to do what everyone else is doing. Remember that, kids. If someone jumps off a bridge, you should too.
Don't be different.
You want to be included, don't you?
You'll be made fun of if you're different. I'll find out where you live and I'll make sure someone makes fun of you.
We'll make you conform.
Keep going. I'm getting your mail together, so keep going.
There really wasn't much to it, just the fact that it's kind of amusing.
Phil, what was your thing?
Phil's isn't much better.
For most people that use Google to do their web browsing and searches, they may have noticed on Friday and Saturday that the Google art was actually a fully playable version of Pac-Man with the word Google as part of the board. And they were doing it for the 30th anniversary of Pac-Man. And I think they built in up to, it was like 256 boards or something like that you could actually play.
Yeah, I lost interest after one.
Yeah, I found it a little bit clunky, kind of tough to navigate around, but it was still fun for the 2 minutes that I played of it at work that I had time for.
It's Pac-Man. It's old and not fun anymore.
Oh, some people still find it fun.
It's still a fun little casual game for, like I said, like 5 minutes.
Only old people find it fun.
Well, consider yourself lucky to not be old.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it was the two topics that were there were not exactly mind benders.
I know. I'm trying to work on things here. You know, I haven't exactly been playing lots of games lately, so.
So I think Steam for the Mac came out since last we had a show.
Oh, yes. Good. And have you tried this, Ivan?
I downloaded the client and installed all of the games that I own that are installable, and it functions as anticipated.
Well, hang on now. You have your Mac is a MacBook, right?
It is just a MacBook.
So, and probably not the greatest graphics processor. I'm guessing you tried out Left 4 Dead.
Left 4 Dead is not yet, or at least wasn't
not
when
yet.
I
Okay.
installed it, available for
Sorry.
Mac.
I meant, I should have said Portal, or those games, the ones that are ported.
Portal. I didn't actually try Portal. I did Torchlight and something else, and I mean, I didn't notice any difference.
Okay.
Did you have to rebuy the games?
Nope. And actually, I installed the client, and after it was done installing, it said, "What's your username or what's your Steam account if you have one?" And I typed it in, and after I logged in, it went to the games library page, and everything I have purchased was just listed there, and I could just highlight it and say install.
That's nice.
That's very nice. Good job.
Didn't have to rebuy it, and everything just showed up. The only thing you had to do was reinstall it, obviously.
Now, I want to say what they're doing now is they're going to have certain games that are cross-platform playable.
Yeah, so as far as I know, any game that is playable on the Mac and has multiplayer, you can play with somebody who is playing on a PC.
What do you do with your second mouse button?
You use it.
Do you have a second mouse button?
Yeah.
I thought that.
Wow, when's the last time you saw an apple, dude?
Yeah.
It's been a while, man.
I guess so. Jeez.
It's kind of funny you say that because Jill still uses the Apple mouse, the one-click thing. I freaking hate it. I can't operate it.
Is it the one that's got the little tiny ball in the middle for the scroll?
No, it's just... Here, let me look at it to describe it. It's just... You actually like hold it from the two nubs on the side, and you actually just press down anywhere on the mouse, and it's...
So the whole mouse is a button?
Yeah, I mean, for the past, I don't know, 5-6 years, all the mouses have been like that, but it's where you push, it understands where you're pushing. So if you push on the right side of the mouse, even though there's not a separate button, it knows that is a right click.
It knows.
Really?
It just knows, yeah.
That's how advanced a Macintosh is.
Indeed.
That's amazing.
I think hers is really old and just doesn't have that technology.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's possible that it's old enough that it only... I mean, because there was a time when right-click on a Mac was the command button and click.
Boy, that would have made gaming more difficult. Well, I'm glad to see that they have two-button mice.
Yeah, you could just use a regular, like a Microsoft mouse if you want, right?
Yeah, so one, they're technically not two buttons, they're one button, but it detects whether you're right-clicking or left-clicking. And two, yeah, you can use. It's got USB ports. You can use any mouse. Any USB mouse will function, and it will. If you're playing a game that has a left click and a right click, the games detect it.
Just backing up a second, you said that the Mac version of Steam is not cross-platform playable just yet?
No, I said if it's playable on a Mac, because not all games are playable on a Mac yet, and if the game itself has multiplayer, as far as I know, it is cross-platform. It's not kind of built into the game, it's built into Steam. So for me, this means that as soon as those games that I do play that aren't yet available, like Left 4 Dead and maybe Borderlands, or Vegas will probably never be available because Ubisoft is a bunch of cheese-eating surrender monkeys.
And you figure since that they're the French, that they'd be enough to want to be a Macintosh kind of person. I mean that with no disrespect meant. I mean the French are it's just stating a fact.
We're going to get some hate mail for that because I know we have French.
But it comes from the French. It doesn't matter. They'll throw a croissant at us.
So as soon as stuff like Left 4 Dead 2 are available, on the Mac, that is pretty much the second to last nail in the coffin. The last nail is when anything at all on my desktop PC dies, I'm scrapping it and I'll probably buy a Mac desktop.
That seems wise.
Especially since they got 2-button mice now.
Oh, exactly.
That does change things.
Indeed.
Thought you'd only be able to pay Peggle.
Okay. 3 topics down.
Woot. Hey, come on, man. I invented a topic that wasn't even on the list.
And Keith might have a topic for next week if you're going to do Red Dead Redemption.
Well, if I get it. I mean, I don't know. I have to look. But they'll send me something else if it's not there.
Hopefully I will next week, too. I don't know if I mentioned to you guys, I got a copy of Alan Wake.
Oh.
But I was kind of waiting. What's that, huh?
It's supposed to be very good, Alan Wake.
That's what I've heard, but I've been waiting to play with Mary because she likes those kind of adventure thriller, kind of less action, more thriller type games.
Yeah, I want to say that one's made by the guys who made Max Payne, and I want to say your weapon in that game is a flashlight, meaning you use light as your weapon.
Yeah, so it's not a 2-stick first-person shooter kind of thing. It's not as heavily involved as something like Resident Evil or something.
Your weapon is a flashlight. do you...
Things are afraid of light. He's scared away.
Oh, I just thought it was one of the cool Maglite ones with the 5 double D batteries, and it's just a club that happens to shine light, which is okay.
That would make a good weapon, that's for sure.
Sue has one of those and it shoots mace.
Really?
She won't let me try it out.
I sprayed myself in the face with dog repellent once.
I've been sprayed by both mace and pepper spray.
I've been sprayed by pepper spray.
Pepper spray hurts worse.
Yes, on accident. When I worked at Blossom, we worked in the kitchen, and a bat got in because all the buildings are just like log cabin type things. So there's a bat in there, and there was a cop whose job it was. He was stationed there because they took all the beer vendors brought their money to the back of the kitchen, and they collected it, and then they took it off to
And the bat was trying to steal it.
No, so the point was that there was a cop permanently stationed at the kitchen because his job was to, guard the money people. So there's this cop, and before the concerts or anything started, he would just hang around and eat the food and stuff. And so this bat got in, and they're trying to catch it and shoo it out with brooms and stuff. And so this cop had the bright idea that he would spray pepper spray at it. And it was one of those things where the bat, there's a bunch of people standing around, and the bat swoops down, and he goes to spray it. But since it's moving, he moves the pepper spray with it and, just hit a line of people with pepper spray. not like...
It's like a cartoon. If the bat was Mexican with a little sombrero, it's a freaking Warner Brothers cartoon.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't hit him directly, but he sprayed it, in the air towards the bat. So there's just this mist.
Yeah, that's all you need with that crap.
Yeah, this mist of pepper spray falling, and we're all like, "Huh, what's the? My face is burning off." It's dirty.
Yeah, it burns. Bad.
So, and that was just, mist falling from the air, and it sucked. I can't imagine getting a direct hit in the face with it. That would be horrible.
Yeah, we did that at work the one day.
Mm-hmm.
We were I don't know why we had mace and pepper spray, and we were discussing which hurt worse. So me and Pataki both volunteered to get blasted in the face with them.
So the question is, did each of you get sprayed with one or the other?
Oh, no, we both got sprayed with both.
Ow!
And how do you know it wasn't just like compounded pain?
We did it over a 2-day period.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought you meant you just like, all right, I got done with the mace. Now hold still. Here's the pepper spray.
No. Come on. How would we know which one's worse? We'd still be burning from the previous.
Right, that was my point. It's not like tasting wine where you can, try one and then cleanse your palate and try another.
Let me spit it out in the bucket. Hold on.
But Sue has this big honking flashlight that has like a laser sight on it, and it can shoot mace.
The question is, does the laser sight work with the mace so that you can aim?
Yes, that's the point of it. Is it has a little flip-up scope if you want. It has like a little sight on it that you could flip up.
Jesus Christ, it's a sniper flashlight.
Did she buy that when you guys first started dating just to be on the safe side or what?
Her mom did, but not when we first started dating.
I don't like the look of that Keith boy. Here's a mace flashlight. You take this on your date.
Yeah, it was something that she had before. And it comes with practice canisters they're not mace, they're just colored water.
Oh.
So I wanted to go downstairs, then she could shoot me in the face just so we could see how accurate it was. But she didn't want to do it, and she called my idea dumb.
I think that's an excellent idea.
I'm not allowed to take it out and try
It's an excellent idea that should be videotaped, is how excellent of an idea that is.
It's such a great thing that you married somebody smarter than you. Because, if she was as dumb as you are, you two would be in a hell of a lot of trouble.
Because she'd have been like, why should we use the practice canisters? We got the real stuff. And you would have been like, yeah, that's a good idea. Because the practice canisters might not shoot the same.
And that's when Keith fell out of the third-story window and broke his face.
I just wanted to see because it has a laser sight.
So she's going to blind you with the laser sight. Then hit you in the mouth with mace. Ruining taste and sight all at the same time.
My point was that I'm glad Sue was smarter than you and that she said, no, Keith, that's a dumb idea.
No.
But she's keeping you in check.
No, we're not going to do that today.
Yeah, because otherwise he'd be standing there drinking bubbles and try to blow them out of his mouth.
Oh, he also tried to blow them out of his nose.
Right, that was
And
my
he
doing.
just choked. It's amazing how we could talk each other into anything, and you don't even have to use effort.
Well, a man could have blown the bubbles out of his nose. I'm just saying.
Chris, but the backstory there at the wedding, when we were walking out, everyone had the bubbles, and
Instead of throwing rice, we were going to just blow bubbles on everybody. And Chris decided that he was going to just drink the soap and blow the bubbles out of his mouth. He was doing an adequate job, but it just looked like spit bubbles. So I said to him, if you were a real man, you would drink that and then somehow blow bubbles out of your nose.
because for some reason that works on Paladinos.
He accepted my challenge and pretty much took a big snort of the crap and then wondered why he'd started coughing.
And his burps taste like soap.
Yeah, and there's a big puddle right underneath him in his unshaven face.
I forgot to shave.
He did shave for the reception. He just didn't shave for the wedding.
Yeah, just not for the wedding that all the pictures were taken at. Right.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Quick question. Keith, what hurts worse, mace or pepper spray?
Pepper spray. Pepper spray, like mace blinds you, but pepper spray you also choke a lot more.
Yeah, and it's burny. Everything burns.
It doesn't just taste like burning, it is burning.
Yeah. Your eyes burn, your nose burns, your throat burns, you can't breathe. It's like when you get a really bad cold or something in, like your throat hurts so bad that you don't even want to swallow, because every time you swallow it's just utter pain. That's what pepper spray is like. You don't even want to breathe, because every time you inhale it's like somebody lodging coals into your lungs.
Coals. Anybody not been hit by a taser? Not a stun gun, but a taser.
Yes, I've been hit by both a stun gun and a taser.
I need to hear the story.
Okay, because I have a good one too after that.
Okay, go please.
Oh no, this was just at college, and as we all know, when someone puts money down to do stupid things, I tend to do them. So we were trying to decipher which hurts worse, a stun gun or a taser.
I'm gonna put money on the taser.
The taser did hurt worse. Also,
Now the taser's the one with the things that shoot out, right?
Yeah.
and the worst part is that of course your friends sit there and giggle and keep pulling the trigger after you tell them to stop.
Please. Oh God, please stop.
The taser didn't so much hurt as just you fall over and can't move. Or the stun gun, I'm sorry. The taser hurts. Because not only that, it has barbs on the end of its little...
Yeah, they're like little fish hook things.
Yeah, I was wondering how they stuck in you.
Yeah, it's barbed. So not only is it stick in you, but then when you're trying carefully to pull it out and your friend is continuously pulling the trigger,
Oh, God.
it's not fun. But I would prefer to be stun gunned than tasered again. If
you imagine the other end of the weapon, though, that would be kind of funny. You shoot somebody with a taser and then, they start shaking violently. That's funny.
That's funny.
Assuming you're not using it as protection. You're like,
no, that was just... But stun gun, you just kind of fall over and everything stops working for a moment.
It stuns you, as it were.
Yes.
As it were. So my story is that there was this guy I knew who had probably two of the worst, either one of them is okay, but combined are probably the two worst pastimes to have. One was he liked to drink, and two was he's a gun fanatic. And yeah, and somehow he got a hold of like a cattle prod. So there's this thing, it's like 13, 15 inches long, and it's essentially the same thing as like a stun gun, except, there's no trigger. You just jab something with it, and it starts shocking. So, first of all, he did that to his mother. He thought that would be funny. He snuck up behind, and somehow this was videotaped because I saw the video. He snuck up behind his mother and prodded her, as it were, and
that sounds... you know what? No, it is as bad as it sounds, because, even if you clarify, it doesn't make it much better. No, I didn't prod her, with my hands or penis or anything. I hit her with a cattle prod. Oh.
Oh, that's essentially is bad.
And then later in the video, he's sitting around a campfire, and he's clearly drunk at this point. And it's dark, so the only light is coming from the fire. He's sitting in a chair with a drink in one hand and the cattle prod in another, and he like constantly just kind of drops it on his leg, like prods his leg. And every time he does it, his legs shoot straight out, and he goes stiff, and he shakes, and then he starts laughing. And, and he does it again.
You know what else is funny, kids? Try to take a mouthful of powdered Gatorade, iced tea, some kind of powdered drink where they have a scoop, and try to swallow it, just one full mouthful of it. Hilarity will ensue.
If you guys have never seen the video, there's a guy who dares sell... Here's a perfect example of how it helps to have one person smarter than the other in a relationship, preferably the woman. This guy convinces his girlfriend to take just like a regular tablespoon full of cinnamon and try to swallow it. And the thing with cinnamon is, you put it on your toast or your oatmeal or whatever, and it's kind of sweet. But an entire tablespoon cinnamon is actually like a spice, like a hot spice. And in great quantities, it's actually very hot. If you have like cinnamon flavored jawbreakers, those things, that's because cinnamon is actually really hot. So this girl takes a spoonful of cinnamon and puts it in her mouth and tries to swallow it, and proceeds to vomit through the rest of the video. Ugh. And it's just this brown, biley looking stuff, and it's gross. And she's just like, and there's just brown crap dripping from her mouth.
Now, is she laughing while doing it, though?
No, she was very upset.
See, that's the difference between the guys and the girls right there. Because the guys would be laughing while they're suffering. But anyway, I still want to try out Sue's contraption. I'm just not allowed.
So, I think we have enough for a show, because actually I don't have a lot of time to edit tomorrow, so yeah, we're about 30 minutes. So,
we have one more minute, man. You're really going to cut it close.
I said about 30 minutes.
You're using all of the content, all of it.
Yeah, well, there's enough good stuff in there. I think we just go with it, We can say...
So that was your video game show for the week.
Right.
Seriously. Well, the mail we have, which we'll get to next week, is metal mail, so... Well,
that's fine. We've become more of a... Oh, my God, my farts smell so bad.
It's the fart variety show is what we are now. Talk about farting and getting shot with tasers is
see.
what we do.
Next week we'll
now.
have Keith and Ivan having played some games.
And you know what? I guarantee you that if people are sitting there listening to us speak, they have thought of these things as well. They might not necessarily have tried that.
We're just helping.
So we're helping, because I guarantee you, if someone's entertained by what we're talking about, they're interested in if pepper spray hurts worse than mace or if a taser is worse than a stun gun. They're interested. And if they're not, I will find them and make people mock them.
And there you go. There's your knowledgeable, informative episode of Video Game Show, episode number 195.
195 is the powdered sugar episode.
Yes. And for a while now, we haven't put our address out there for mail, so if anyone would like to comment on any of these stories or send us hate mail in general, you can send it to mailbag@videogameshow.org or Skype us at videogameshow or call us at 320-300-GAME. Normal long-distance call. All fees apply. Would anyone like to say any words to end the show?
Yeah, I'm bleeding profusely. I need to leave.
Okay, that's a good way to end the show.
What are you bleeding? Did you throw up the Alejandro symbol, which is just a needle on the backdrop of the light?
No, apparently I was scratching an itch on my neck and pierced something.
Pierced something.
Make sure you're not bleeding out there, Phil.
I've been pierced.
I've been impaled by my fingernail.
I think it's time to clip the fingernails, brother.
It might be.
Do you file them to like a razor's point and then put hair on your face and act like a wolf man?
Yeah, that's a lot of blood for just a scratch. Okay, I'm going. I'll hit stop and upload.